Ali Bhai, today I've brought some questions related to atheism. I myself was an agnostic for quite a while, so I had some personal reservations regarding this, and I have some questions about it. The first question is one from the atheist side. And personally, when I was leaning towards atheism, I also felt that God is just the name of a state of mind. He doesn't feel like an actual being. The reason is that when we're sad or face some trouble, we run towards God. But when we're happy or things are going well, it doesn't even feel like a being such as God even exists.
So he has described the absolute reality. That's exactly how it is. Suffering only comes so that a person turns back towards Allah. This is the very premise of religion. He hasn't explored some universal truth that wasn't already present in the divine books. The premise of religion is built on the idea that if you face injustice or any trouble or calamity in this world, you should understand it's not forever. Rather, a time will come when this trouble will pass, and eternal happiness will be your destiny. This is the very package that has been offered by God. And this is a well-known fact. It's mentioned in many places in the Quran, that when a person is entirely prosperous and successful, they act as if they had never called upon us. Once we remove that suffering, even though they were making long prayers before, where does the denial of God come from in that? How does this prove that God is not our necessity? This actually proves that in order to truly save ourselves from suicide, and in our times of trouble and distress, a being exists for us as a remedy upon whom we can rely to live our lives. Now, to say based on this that we only believe in this being to blame someone for our troubles is not right. That would only be the case if we lived in this world forever, never faced death, our lives never ended, and we came into and left this world of our own will. When we are so helpless that we didn't choose our own biological parents, we didn't choose our geographical region, we didn't choose the length of our lifespan, nor did we choose our skin color. We didn't choose our circumstances, we came into this world in given circumstances, right? So we were quite helpless in this regard. The being who created us, he ordained this for us in our destiny, these given circumstances. Now we seek refuge in that being because he has certain requirements for our future. So the being who created me without my consent and placed me on this planet Earth, he can do anything with me in the future as well. So I should seek him and fulfill his requirements. The entire case for religion is built on this. We absolutely maintain that this is how it is. That in times of trouble and distress, instead of committing suicide or living a life of despair, we live a happy life by responding to Allah in this world, and eternal success will be our destiny. And look, behind this sentiment is the essence of Allah Almighty. What a great blessing this belief is for us, that whether the camera's eye is watching us or not, we are still not ready to commit injustice against anyone. Because we have to be accountable in the presence of Allah Almighty. He is watching us, isn't He? That's why, whether in private or in public, we do not try to commit injustice against anyone. You can see in Europe or America, the peace you observe is due to the rule of law. If you relax the law there today, you'll see what happens. If the power goes out for just 2 minutes, all sorts of things happen. But in our countries, it's not like that. Here, people who avoid sin and crime do so because of their introduction to God. So overall, we've seen that Allah Almighty's check on humans is a check that is with them at all times, whether the camera's eye is watching or not, whether there's a law over them or not. So this shouldn't be presented as a negative point. Yes, if we weren't subject to death, if we faced no sorrow or trouble, and if we lived in this world forever, then God wouldn't be our necessity. But now look, the sword of death is hanging over us. After that, He will do exactly what He has already done. Even today, despite scientific progress, have humans stopped dying or stopped falling ill? Or are children being born in some other way now? All the matters and relationships remain the same. That's why divine books never become obsolete, because they deal with social values and ethics. You see, all other theories improve over time, but religion never gets old. Whether you pick up divine books from before the Quran or after, you will find the same basic teachings. They are still a human necessity today. So, since God is our necessity, because we face death, He has performed one activity. He has placed us here without our consent. Now, whatever He has to do next, He will do it. No one can even speak 2 words of sympathy for us. Even here, you can see that when someone is on their deathbed, all the people who have come to visit, they aren't really sharing his pain. Like if today's pain is 100%, then 10%. This brother will take 10%, that one will take 10%, and it adds up to 100. No, that person suffers alone. Even his wife and children don't share that pain with him. He leaves this world suffering alone. all the creatures of the heavens and earth combined, even with all their effort, cannot free him from the trouble that Allah has written in his destiny as a trial. But if the successes of the afterlife are destined for him, then after this 50, 60, 70, 80 or 100 years of sacrifice, if eternal success becomes his fate, then it's a very cheap bargain. This is what Allah meant when He said that He has purchased the lives and wealth of the believers in exchange for paradise. Rejoice over this pledge, over this trade, at what a great deal you've made, that by giving your life and wealth to Allah, eternal success is becoming your destiny. Praise be to Allah. He might keep making excuses that he doesn't feel the need. If he doesn't feel the need, then let him manage everything with just his wealth. Have you ever seen a wealthy person withdraw from the world and start living alone in the woods? You only see a few such crazy people on National Geographic or Discovery Channel, and even then it's just to make a video. And even there, in their final days, they are crying, missing their wife and children. You've seen it, right? There was that naked show, how they struggled to get through 40 days. So Allah has bound humans within a family system. One human needs another. These relationships are our necessity. Parents, children, siblings, this whole society. So wealth alone isn't everything. When there's a need, then sorrow is also attached to a human. Someone's young child will die, someone's mother will pass away, someone's beloved will betray them. Yes, so after that, will he commit suicide? No. Will he live his life solely relying on money? No. Instead, he will try to move forward with patience and gratitude, thinking, okay, if this happened to me, I'll try to spend my future life, both in this world and the hereafter, in a better way. Just look at the motivational speakers. Why are they earning so much? In reality, it's religion that gives you true motivation. The concept of God is exactly this: how you should react to worldly sufferings or joys. Because happiness isn't permanent. Is there any person in the world who can claim that happiness is permanently attached to them? Is there any person who can claim that sorrow is permanently attached to them? These phases keep changing. When these phases change, then a human needs Allah, needs God at all times. Maintain your connection with Him. Just take a moment to reflect on yourself. From your earliest childhood to old age, or for you, perhaps until the years of your youth, there is one friend who has been with you throughout your entire journey, with whom you can share everything, who knows all your secrets, and that is God. And look, you may not even realize it in this regard, that if your relationship with your Lord is strong, then whenever you are going through a difficult time, while turning towards Allah, you are also filled with feelings of gratitude. You think that if this trial has come upon me today, then before this, my Lord has also made my time pass very well. The coming time will also, God willing, be better. This hope that exists within a human being, hope is a very great thing. Every person's life is made up of many such things if they reflect and ponder upon themselves. There must have been many moments in your life when you thought that life is over after today. If you remember those moments in the past today, you say, no, I am living a very good life. At that time, it felt like everything was finished. So in that very specific and particular moment in your life, so that your nerves do not give up or break down under the pressure, so that you do not simply expire or collapse from overwhelming grief and sorrow, the support and comfort you have is truly the being and presence of God. That is precisely why we have been commanded. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits. We will certainly test you with fear, hunger, and loss of life and wealth, and then see who among you adopts the way of the patient. And what is their slogan? Indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return. Indeed, we also came from Allah, and we have to return to Him after death. This pain has come, so it will also eventually end. Even if it doesn't end, the trouble will end with my death, right? No one can remain ill until the day of judgment. No one can remain a patient until the day of judgment. No one can remain immersed in grief until the day of judgment. Death will come and end all worries. You will enter a new phase. Yes, for some, death can also open the door to eternal failures if they did not respond to Allah in this world. So this is something that needs to be considered.